Welcome to today's episode of our podcast, where we take a deep dive into the most pressing issues shaping our world. Today, we turn our focus to a development in one of the most enduring and complex conflicts of our time, the Israel-Palestine conflict. Specifically, we'll be examining the announced Gaza Disarmament Agreement, a new peace initiative that has the potential to redefine not only the political landscape in Gaza, but also the broader geopolitical dynamics in the region. This announcement is significant because it directly addresses the long-standing obstacle of Hamas's military presence and the implications of its disarmament. The agreement is being heralded as a major step forward in the peace process, offering a glimmer of hope for a situation that has seen repeated cycles of violence and fragile ceasefires. However, it also introduces substantial uncertainty about whether the agreement's terms can be implemented and sustained in a meaningful way. To understand the weight of this development, we must first consider the historical context. The conflict in Gaza has deep roots, characterized by a complex web of political, social, and military factors. The presence of Hamas as a significant military force has been a contentious issue, often derailing peace talks and complicating efforts to establish a lasting political settlement. Disarmament has long been a focal point in negotiations, but it's also been one of the most contentious topics, raising critical questions about who would enforce such an agreement, how governance would be structured, and who would guarantee security. This latest initiative is noteworthy not only for what it proposes, but for how it situates itself within a broader peace framework. The announcement references a larger effort involving a Gaza peace body, suggesting a level of coordination and involvement that extends beyond a single bilateral agreement. This reflects a shift in diplomatic strategy, one that might open new channels for dialogue and potentially reshape the negotiations moving forward. If the agreement advances, it could lead to a significant redefinition of authority within Gaza, altering the political and security landscape. Such changes could have far-reaching implications for humanitarian access, border arrangements, and reconstruction efforts. Moreover, they could influence the broader diplomatic track between Israel, Palestinian factions, and international mediators, potentially affecting how regional powers perceive the balance between stabilization and resistance within the territory. However, despite these optimistic prospects, the key uncertainty lies in whether this announcement signifies a genuine breakthrough or merely an initial diplomatic opening that may falter when confronted with practical challenges. Critical questions remain unanswered. Will the armed group accept meaningful disarmament? Will Israel and other stakeholders find the terms credible? Is there an enforcement mechanism robust enough to ensure that the agreement does not collapse under the weight of its own ambitions? The skepticism surrounding the agreement is not unwarranted. Previous attempts at similar initiatives have struggled with implementation, often falling apart amid distrust and political maneuvering. The challenge lies not in the articulation of peace initiatives, but in their execution, which requires steadfast commitment from all parties involved, alongside support from key international players. For observers and policymakers around the globe, the implications of this agreement are significant. Beyond the immediate region, this development touches on broader issues of international security and diplomacy, particularly in how it aligns with U.S. foreign policy interests and the international community's long-standing quest for a sustainable post-war framework in Gaza. Even if the agreement does not ultimately lead to a resolution of the conflict, the fact that disarmament is being officially advanced within a peace context marks a notable shift in diplomatic discourse. It's crucial for us to recognize that this is not merely a regional issue, but one with global resonance. The implications of success or failure will be watched closely in capitals across the Middle East, Europe, and Washington. The stakes are high, and the path forward is fraught with challenges, but the potential for a meaningful breakthrough, however tentative, is a development that merits our attention and careful consideration. As we wrap up today's discussion, it's important to reflect on the broader lessons this situation imparts. The complexity of the Israel-Palestine conflict reminds us that peace is not simply the absence of war, but a process requiring continual dialogue, compromise, and a willingness to address the deeply entrenched issues that fuel conflict. The path to peace is never straightforward, but through sustained effort and genuine engagement, transformative change remains within the realm of possibility. Thank you for joining us today as we explored this vital topic. We'll continue to monitor developments in this story and bring you updates as they unfold. Please tune in next time for more in depth analysis of the issues that matter most, right here on our podcast.